Hello.
Camille.
Hey, Olivia.
How are you this fabulous day, Wednesday?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
So we're here to talk about the plan you wrote for October that hopefully people have done that are joining us.
Yes.
So tell us what it was again and some
So
details about
it was super fun, and I actually just cleaned up my mess, but it's still down there. If you peek, you can see the box back here because it was Preservation Station this month. And for those of you who are watching live, who watch us later, we'd love to hear first of all where you're from and all of those fun things. But we also really want to hear if you've started doing the Preservation Station plan at all, because I would love to hear what you learned. What types of things were your favorite activities? We had so much fun putting Preservation Station together. And so we're just excited to, because this month, which we're really here for, is, the November plan reveal. And it's a great segue. Camille has put together some really exciting stuff to prepare us for, or basically to take us out of October into November. And, but Preservation Station was fun. I've had so much fun digging through all my old photos and documents. I have boxes and boxes of things people have given me over the years. And so I've actually taken the time and started organizing it and coming up with a plan. And that's my favorite part of the Preservation Station plan, is just the part where we put together our own personal preservation plan. That part I think is so critical. The rest is important because you're learning how to do it and all that. But at the end, when we move into the last couple of days, learning how to put your own personal preservation plan together, that for me was the most important part because I need an organization.
Yeah. So tell us about our own personal plan. I know that you have some product for it. So tell us about it and why we need to get it.
Okay. So, basically as we were putting this together, Melissa Barker and I worked on it, and then we had some team members helping. And as we were doing that, I was like, we need a system for this, because we knew it was important, but it's there was nothing out there. I was searching online, trying to find solutions. And I was like, we need a system. And so we took a long time, a lot of hours to just sit down, and we worked with different people. I pulled in friends, I pulled in family, I pulled in people on the team, and we just sat there and we worked through the system, worked through the process, worked through it. And we think we came up with the best possible solution, but we'll fix that as time goes on if we find errors and re-upload it, because basically it'll walk you through. It'll say, okay, here's all your plans, write them all. All of your preservation projects that you have, write them down, and it's going to help you walk through prioritizing them, and then even takes you through the process of digitizing and working through the preservation of every single part of that project. So if you have a box like mine, or I have cupboards, I have certain shelves that are dedicated to this is all of this size of document, and this is all of this size of thing, and this is all my VHSs, right?
So, I have a whole room. So
yes. Oh yes, I remember that. Yes. And so it's it can be so overwhelming, and so this will it's called the My Personal Preservation Planner, and I think Camille's going to put on, you can tell. So I'll let her put the little thing up there, but basically it's a workbook that will walk you through it, but then a whole bunch of templates so you can add to it and improve it with time. And you can work through this booklet, and you can find it in our shop, just like all our other products. It just supports the operations of this project. So it just supports all of those things. Everything in our shop is just really to help support the project and keep it going. So anyway, with that said,
is this something that would be a good gift that I could give? Or is it something I would work for and then give it as a gift?
It could be both. It depends on if you're the person in your family who has, if you're the person in the family who gets inherited everything. There's always one person, right? And generally those of us who are family historians or genealogists are that person. But if we have an aunt or an uncle who is, it would be an absolute gift to them to say, hey, I got this for you. I think it'll help you get this all organized. Because I do have one cousin who inherited all these boxes, and they're very protective of them, and they don't want to give them to anyone else. So it'd be perfect for me to give it to her because she could work through it, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm the one who's ultimately going to end up doing the preservation, then it's a Christmas gift for myself.
I love it. Good. What about, I had a question and it just disappeared. Oh, will it help us digitize things, or is it just
Great question. Yes.
a plan, like of where I'm storing things?
Yeah. So the first section, after you kind of learn what you're doing in it, I have it right here. So I'm going to show you the example sheet. The first section is totally listing out everything. So on that, you list people you want to interview. You list all of the boxes you have, and you break it down however you want, whether it's by type of product or by box or by scrapbook or by whatever, like with you and your room, you know, you could just say like this corner versus this corner versus this corner, whichever one works. And you list it out.
Bookshelf, shelf. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then when you list it out, we work you through the process of figuring out what the priorities are, which ones need to be done first. And then once you've worked through that process, then we take you to your, we take you through a few steps. You learn to set up an accountability system and all those things, which is super awesome. But then also we'll work you through, there's project pages that literally work you through every step of getting that entire project digitized. So
that is so cool.
It's awesome. I love it. And I'm so excited to keep using it. Like I'm just getting started using it. So I really made the product.
I have to admit, I was a little intimidated because of my room to do the plan this month. I was like, I don't want to open that can of worms. Because it feels like such a big project to me. But it sounds like that if I create this plan, that I can make it bite-sized. So
yes, exactly.
I think I can do it.
Yes. So you should try it. You should try it. Absolutely. Download it and see. I think you'll be happy. And then if you discover any issues with it, just let us know. Like, perfect. I'd be happy to update the digital files and make them better and share them with everyone. So that's awesome.
Yay.
Awesome. So that's actually a really good segue into what I'm here to ask you about today. So if you've been working on the preservation plan, or even if you haven't, you will find that there's a need that we are going to fill for you in our November plan. So should we do a little drum roll and play the video, Camille? Operation interview. I have to start by saying I was super excited when Camille decided to do this plan, because as we were working through the preservation station, I was like, there needs to be more helps on interviews, but we didn't have time to work that in to October. So I'm really excited. I feel like it's the perfect one to follow. So tell us all about it. Tell us what the inspiration was.
Well, and I feel like if you've gone through the preservation plan, you have found holes where you may not know things. You may have an item that you have preserved from your great-great-grandma, but you don't know why it's important or what it was used for or how she got it. And interviews are the way that you can find that out. So, yes.
And I love interviews. They're to me, they're the best part of family history. Like they are. They're the hardest to do. I find they make connection between you and the person that you are interviewing. Absolutely.
And that connection is big. I don't know. Yeah. It just makes you feel, I feel like as the interviewee, you realize that you have a story that matters, that someone else wants to hear this story. Yes. And you as an interviewer are realizing and acknowledging that everyone has a story and everyone is important. And whether they're married or if they have kids or if they're the black sheep of the family, they all have a story and it's all contributed to the family dynamics. And so I think it's so, I love interviews too. They're so cool. I love listening to people's stories. I love that part.
I agree. Well, and I love, like for me, I started doing family history by scanning, actually. Like that was where I kind of got started. Preservation, right? I was helping people preserve. And then when we moved back to Utah, I was like, I got out into the, into my extended family, my great aunts, and it was super awesome because that connection that comes, like, I love all of my great aunties so much, like such a deep connection because of those interviews.
Yes.
So I love that. Yes.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, that connection just, I don't know. It makes my heart warm. So what kind of inspired this was, so we were building our house. We were living with my in-laws, and my mother-in-law's dad came and lived with us. He was 94. So we had 5 generations from 94 to 4 living in the same house. And it was fun, but every night at dinner, we would sit down at dinner, and my little boy Hamilton would ask Grandpa some weird off-the-wall question. And it was so much fun to hear him talk about things. And he was in World War II. And he was in the Air Force. And so my son started asking about that. And he'll talk about it, but like hearing those details was so cool. But my father-in-law has 2 huge journals from his dad on his life history. And we keep telling him, you need to write your life history, Grandpa. You need to write your life history. And he's like, oh, I'm too old. I don't have any stories to tell. Can't learn from me. Right? Yeah.
Common story. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Being 94.
Yeah.
You've seen some stuff, and I'm sure it's been a long time. But I one day just went up to him and said, you know what, Grandpa? I want to interview you so I can help you write your life story. And he was like, oh, I can't remember anything. And I'm like, well, let's just try. Let's just see what you can remember. Yeah. And we sat down, and for a man who claimed he didn't remember anything, he talked for an hour and a half.
Nice.
And
I love it.
Just fun. I could tell that he was a little apprehensive about talking about himself, but as I started asking him about his jobs, which are pretty, everyone can find that out, right?
Yeah.
And it was fun because he actually started with working on the farm and the ranch when he was younger. And I heard some really fun stories about it. And I asked about his dad, and I asked about his mom, and then I asked about his siblings. And so through asking about these jobs, I was able to find out about the family and find out other stories. And so, and then I came back the next day and asked him some other questions, and he talked for another 45 minutes. So even if they claim that they don't remember anything, they totally remember stuff. You just got to get them talking. But what made it really incredible was 2 months later, he actually ended up passing away. It was so grateful that I asked that. Yeah, I was so glad that I got up the courage to ask, or else most of those stories would be gone.
Yeah.
Because there were some stories that my father-in-law and mother-in-law had no idea about. So
well, I love that you brought that up, because that was what I was thinking. Like when you're filling out your preservation station list, of all the things, it was like always like the things that were most important were those interviews, because if you're taking into account time sensitivity, obviously you never know when someone's going to pass. So it's the most critical are those interviews. They're at the top of the list. They're the most important thing to preserve first, but sometimes they're the hardest. So I'm hoping that this plan will help us kind of work through some of those things that make it so hard.
Yes, and it does. Yes. I walk you through how to pick who you're going to choose. I walk you through, there might be a script, there might not be a script, but there is like, okay, this is what you say to the person. This is what you should do. And there's a prompt that says, now go contact that person that you chose. So
it's perfect. Perfect. I'm so excited because I have a grandma who I've been trying to interview, and I keep like not making it happen. And so I'm like committed, like November is the month.
I think it's day 3 or day 5. It's going to say, go contact that person.
Perfect. Okay, good.
So, and then we have what to do after the interview. We have what equipment
Oh,
you might
sweet.
need. We even have some interviews that you can do going forward. So that'll be fun.
Perfect. I'm so excited. So excited. Well, thank you so much. I'm really excited. Everyone, we put it in the comments. You can see the plan at connections-experiment.com/plans. And that's where you'll find it. It's there live now. So you can go start exploring it. And so, yeah, we invite you to go check it out, sign up, take the survey, see if you feel a few psychological benefits. I think this month would be a really fun one to be sure to take the survey. Some people who've been doing this for a while, I don't think they always take it. I don't always take it, but I think it's one of those months that we should take it because it will be really interesting.
I want to hear those connections. Yeah.
Talk about connection, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I think it'll be really powerful. So everyone take the survey this month, go and do it. And let's see how much psychological benefits we can all get in the month of November.
Yay! I'm excited.
Well, thank you, Camille. We are so excited. And let's go start interviewing. Operation Interview coming November 1st.
Yay!
All right. Any last words before I end the broadcast?
Nope. Okay. I'm just excited to hear from everyone. So we'll see you guys later.
Throw comments in the box and we'll read them later. Thanks for coming.